You can slice him, you can dice him, but the Quinn man just keeps on coming. All right, Mark, you just rattle off those Edward Scissorhands tidbits, because my mouth it feels like the inside of a Brillo pad, spongy and moist.
Moist. Let's see. So, Johnny Depp was determined to stay in character in most times. He refused any cooling agents, even when he had to, like, spend hours in the all-leather costume.
So I was right. It was hot in that fucking suit.
He apparently got, like, severe rashes.
Rashes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gross.
Edward's hair was apparently based on Robert Smith's The Cure's hair.
Yeah, we all know who that is. It was the first thing I thought when I watched the movie. Oh, that's old Robbie Rob. Yeah, Robbie Williams.
Exactly. It was originally going to be a musical, but...
Thank God it didn't.
Apparently the dog haircuts that Edward performs are real.
Meaning that the dog's haircuts, the dogs were actually groomed to look like that.
With Edward's scissored hands.
Oh, are you fucking serious?
Yes.
Fine, whatever. There's a guy in the Guinness Book I think it's from Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they refer to him as the real life Edward Scissorhands because he devised these. It's not gloves necessarily. He devised these gloves that at the ends of each finger was a type of scissor. Like not like I don't want to say a type of scissor. I mean a type of. Meaning it didn't actually have a fulcrum or anything like that. It was just like two angled blades, and he used them to cut hair, and that's why he was on Ripley's Believe It or Not, and it effectively worked. And the way he cut hair was he basically pickled the bottom of the hair. That's all I got.
So apparently the woman who was playing the organ in that movie was actually playing the music. Okay. Like she actually learned how to perform the music that she played in that movie.
What remains hidden beneath?
And they say that when it snows in that town in the distance,
you can hear
her
music
playing.
Mm-hmm.
In the Garden of Eden.
Baby. I like how you actually said in the Garden of Eden as opposed to in the Garden of Eden. That's the first place I heard that song. That old lady died playing that fucking song.
Some of the props for the movie where Edward is making like shrubbery, like those shrubs were fake. And they can now be seen in a restaurant tavern in New York City called The Green.
The Green?
Yes.
Okay.
The restaurant in which the family eats was once, at one time, a real restaurant. It was a national chain diner called Sambo's.
Sambo?
Sambo's.
Spell it.
SAMBO apostrophe S.
Oh, that's racist. If y'all don't understand why that's like mildly offensive, you should look up Sambo.
But it was a real restaurant chain that was localized in Florida.
Florida, you say? You know what? Yeah, I can totally see that that movie taking place in Florida.
Edward is regarded as an artificial human, but he is much more of a homunculus or a golem.
Oh yeah, he's clearly a golem.
In an interview, Johnny Depp once characterized Edward as being a creation and left it at that.
A creation and left it at that?
Yeah, he just said, Edward's a creation. And that was it.
Duh. Watch the fucking movie. His dad made him. His dad was...
Johnny and Winona dated throughout the filming of the movie and became engaged later that year.
They didn't stay married for anybody. Johnny then went on to be abused by his future wife. That's not funny. I don't know why I laughed. It's humorous in the fact that like Johnny Depp was abused by his wife, and if I'm not mistaken, like there have been allegations since then that he was abusive to other women, but he was abused by his wife, and like people really didn't have much to say because men abusing women, well, that's a problem, but women abusing men.
Apparently, the shop where Edward goes to have his hand sharpened was an actual storefront and was called the Crowder Brothers. It was a Southgate shopping center. And apparently, they actually had a giant motorized winger. That's what they say.
Go ahead, Afro. I'll catch up with you.
They do actually offer sharpening services to this day. And they do have a giant motorized winger.
Giant motorized winger?
Didn't you?
Winger. Wenger.
I don't know what that is.
Winger.
Those headbands represent everything he despises.
I imagine that's like if I watched the movie, I understand. I rewatched and paid attention because I literally just watched. I clearly just watched the movie. Okay, so that's how that works. You have to like activate it while it's glowing. You have to activate it like mid combo. You can't just store it up and then activate it later.
Kathy Baker saw her role as Joyce, the neighbor who tries to seduce Edward, as a perfect chance to break into comedy.
She saw it what?
As a perfect chance to break into comedy. It was Joyce.
Did that work out for her?
I don't know.
Because it made it sound like she was an actress before then, but she mostly did serious roles.
Tim Burton and Caroline Thompson said that they were inspired by such movies as The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Animal Welfare, Frankenstein, King Kong, and Creature of the Black Lagoon.
My African pride went out the window last episode. If y'all haven't been caught up, I've restarted the game on the normal difficulty, which is proving to be incredibly easy. Remind you, I am getting hurt here.
Tom Cruise, Jim Carrey, and Robert Downey Jr. were all considered for the role of Edward Scissorhands.
If it had been Jim Carrey, it wouldn't have worked. Like, the movie would have had a very different tone. Because at that time, like, Jim was very well known for doing comedy. Again, there's no lock on him, so when I'm swinging wildly like that, it's exclusively because I'm not doing well.
Johnny Depp's wardrobe took about 1 hour and 45 minutes each time to apply.
Oh gosh. I'd have been like, yeah, we don't have to film as much as we can today. It was like, oh, this sucks. Like,
you hear that?
We could have done faster.
Listen.
Also, I'd like to point out that at the end of that movie, when the credits are rolling, the cast
I've got it from here.
comes later in the credits, rather than like as soon as they start rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I yawned because I'm tired. Yeah, the cast comes much later in the credits than like it would in a typical film. What?
Oh, I got you.
Oh, well, fuck up.
It's about money.
Bitch better have my money. Oh, okay.
Tim Burton originally wanted Gina Davis for the role of Peg after working with her on Beetlejuice. However, Davis was unavailable and she was busy shooting a movie called Quick Change.
Y'all could not tell me that the woman don't look a little weird. Like, I'm not saying that Gina Davis is unattractive, but my argument is that Gina Davis looks weird.
More pointless information for your everyday life. The old man at the barbecue is the doctor who delivers the penguin in Batman Returns.
All right then.
End of the road.
I'm skipping a few now because there's just some that are just even more pointless than that. Corey Feldman was considered for the role of Jim, but turned it down as he was busy with the TMNT movie.
Jim?
Yeah, whoever the fuck
Boyfriend?
Jim is.
Who's Jim?
You'd have to tell me,
The boyfriend, I assume.
I guess.
Because that's the only role in the movie that it would make sense for him to play.
The family car is a 1974 Ford Maverick.
I was wondering about that.
So this other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You ready for this?
I am.
So there's another movie on top of the other movie. I can talk about them both in this episode and it won't be 5 hours long.
You say that.
I'm gonna talk about the other one first because it's really short and like it kind of needs to be talked about now. And it's called Hood Rat.
And I'm done.
Yeah. You think you're done now? It
Just
is
you
a
wait.
Close your
like
eyes.
we've all seen B grade horror movies. Well, this is a D or F grade horror movie. It stars Ice-T and T.K. Kirkland. If you don't know who T.K. Kirkland is, look him up. He's funny. He's a comedian. He's also an ex-criminal.
That only makes him better.
The movie is about a... Oh, it also has Miguel Nunez in the very beginning, in the very start of the movie. The movie is about an apartment, a slum apartment building that is being overrun by rats. And in the movie, what ends up happening is it doesn't really hold up. What happens is, like at the beginning of the movie, the exterminator Miguel Nunez is going to the apartment building to exterminate some rats. He bumps into a lady who then tells him that like, yo, them rats is rough. And he, or I'm paraphrasing obviously, but she starts to warn him that like the rats are very vicious. Now, when I saw the movie on the DVD, like on TV, and I didn't watch it. I just saved it to the DVR, and all I saw was like Ice-T on the box art. I thought it was going to be a drama. I was wrong.
Obviously.
It ends up being about these killer rats. Now, when I realized it was about killer rats, I expected a higher production value than I got.
And you
I
didn't
was
expect much to begin with.
No, I expected a lot. Like
Oh.
I knew that the movie wasn't gonna be Saw. I knew it wasn't gonna be like high quality, but I expected something, and I just didn't get what I expected. So, in this movie,
This ain't worth
there
dying
is
for. I got
it's a really
kids.
shit building, like a super shit building that's being like overrun by rats, and all of its tenants live in these like really garbage apartments. Like all the apartments are garbage, and they're all like very similar, which is which was odd to me. But they're all like little boxes, which you could argue that's just what a building is. But it was really weird. In the basement lives a man. I think his name was either Matt or Max. I could never really tell what they were saying. And his brother, who is in a wheelchair, who I think might have been Guy Torre. I don't remember. I don't really care. Oh, not that way. I remember having so much trouble with this part, figuring out where to go. And they live in the basement, and supposedly they live there for like $50 a month.
Today
And
is a good day to die.
Ice-T is hired as, like, I guess you could say the superintendent of the building. It really all his job is merely to go around collecting rent. And like, that's it. That's all his job is. His job is to be the muscle to get the rent out of the tenant. The owner of the building is a slumlord by default, who is Haitian. This Haitian slumlord who came to America just to be rich. Like he was one of those people who saw like how easy it is to like become a capitalist in America, even if it requires like ill-gotten gains or whatever the fuck. And a court case, like he is required by law, like as a punishment, I guess, to live in one of his buildings, and like so that he can like suffer the same, living conditions that his tenants live in. And as this is going down, the judge is like, yeah, I just want to make sure that everything is on the up and up, that everything is like, nothing has been altered, like to give you a bet, really? Okay. Like to give you a less shitty experience. And, let's see. There's god damn, I don't really know how to explain what happens, but effectively, the Max character gets into it with these people, and he sees a rat. He sees a white rat, and he basically becomes friends with this rat.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
He was with you until friends.
Okay, continue.
What happened?
You had to pick his jaw up off the floor.
Just let it sink in, just like simmer in a second.
Yeah, he became friends with this white rat, and he gave her a name, and he named her Tara. Now, this is what I would like to point out to everybody when I was talking about the box art for this movie. The box art on the DVR, on like DirecTV, the box art is a photo of Ice-T with the word Tara written across the top of it in green font. That's the box art. Doesn't say Hood Rat. It's just a picture of Ice-T, like a close-up shot of Ice-T's face, and the word Terra.
I forgot that's what you said the name of the movie was.
What,
Come on,
Hood Rat?
Afro.
Yeah.
Take him back to safe haven.
So what ends up happening from this point forward is there's a scene in this movie where the fucking rat brings him a piece of chicken. Like he wakes up in the
Does
middle.
he eat it?
Yes, he scarfs it.
Oh.
Like he knocks it the
Afro,
fuck
stay here with the
off.
children. No.
Like he accepts like the whole like that he doesn't eat well, like he doesn't eat often or well. Like, and this is where we started this week's episodes.
Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Are you looking
When you
this up?
say, no, when you say he befriends the rat, like does the rat talk?
No,
Okay,
that helps
That's-
a little bit.
better question.
No, the rat can't talk. The amount of rat squeaking that you hear throughout this film is ridiculous. Like I watched this movie with headphones on, and the amount of squeaking I heard was unacceptable. It was so fucking much. Just to give you an understanding, in about an hour's time, I got back to the point where we started this week's episode. The
That is
end.
kind of
Yeah, that's how much trouble. That's how hard mode really is. Or just how bad I am at the game. Who knows?
the world. No.
Okay, so yeah, the rat Tara seems to have like taken a liking to Max. And she starts to get revenge for him on the people that have done him wrong.
So this is Willard.
Willard,
Yes.
the TV show?
No, there's a movie called Willard, where about a man who like learns that he can befriend rats, and the rats kill people for him.
No. Like, does he tell the people to kill rats? I mean, does he tell the rats to kill people?
Not at first.
Is he in control of the rats at any point?
No, like he's just befriended them, so they just kind of do what he.
Okay, well, I
Sounds-
would say yeah, maybe, but he doesn't befriend all the rats. He befriends the one rat, and he goes out of his way to point out that he thinks that she has to be a female rat. Mind you, she's the one white rat amongst
Well, I
all
mean,
these.
if it was a male rat, you would have seen that rat fall.
Also, I'd argue that they could be mice because they're incredibly small for rats.
Okay, then they
Incredibly
were
small.
mice. You would not have seen the mouse's ball.
Like and especially they live in like New York or something. Then they live in Queens.
Then
And
it was
like-
a rat.
Yeah. But the rats are just really small.
New York only breeds rats.
And pigeons.
Yeah, which are just flying rats.
Rats, right. Okay, so he finds out that Tara is like getting things like what happens? She brings him a piece of chicken. He eats it.
Okay.
Mind you, when I say she brings him a piece of chicken, he's asleep. And I think like the noise from the rat
What it means to wear the
wakes
number
him
two
up.
headband.
And there's like a piece of chicken, and this don't make it no better, on the floor of a basement of a slum apartment building in New York. And he asks her, like, did you bring me this? Or whatever the fuck. And then proceeds to knock this piece of chicken the fuck off. That's black people talk, but he ate it real quick. What?
Okay, the more interesting thing about this movie for me is in every country
Is
it's
it ice?
called something else.
Really?
Unable to trust anybody.
So
Well, I imagine like hood rat doesn't translate well.
so it was originally called Terra.
Ah, that makes sense.
In some countries, it's known as horror o rats! Exclamation point! Hood rats and rat! Night of the rat terror. Jesus Christ.
Night of the Rat Terror.
Night of the Rat Terror.
This is
Yeah.
okay. You know what? Fine.
So, Terra is probably the best title for this movie.
There is a point in the movie where they do like say the word hood rat, and
Never have brought you here.
never mind. Anyway, there's a cop in this movie, and like there's a male and a female cop in this movie, and the female's cop's grandparents live in this building, and they constantly tell her that like about the stuff that's going on in the building, and the male cop is just like, no, this can't be true, yada yada yada.
I've given him his...
Afro! This is the world you have made. Is it everything you hoped it would be? Behold your creation.
So okay,
You are on the path
so
to God.
there's also a scene. There's also a scene where the
The only place you respect enough to leave
like the
is
T.K. Kirkland's character and another guy like bully, like his brother is in a wheelchair.
must be earned.
His brother is in a wheelchair, and their parents are apparently both dead. Oh,
Hold on 1 second. Where's his brother?
his brother lives with him, but he is confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Mind you, they both live in this basement. And his brother is, as his brother tells him that I am not an alcoholic. He's like, I got dignity. I'm a drunk.
Randomly.
I'm a drunk. No, they were having a
Every time
conversation
he
about
walks
it.
into the room.
No, they were having a conversation about it because he ended up like losing. I think he traded his watch, which is the only thing that he actually only real possession he had, for some alcohol, and the people who took the watch like taunted his brother with it. Blah 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 blah. But him being in a wheel.
How? From a window?
No, like the dude who like his brother Max is, you know, like he leaves the apartment every day to like, you know, scrounge up. I don't even know what, because it's not like he's up there collecting cans or nothing. Like he's just out in the world, and they kind of like caught him not in the apartment, more or less.
Just a walking.
And because I remember hearing this dude's voice, and I was like, I remember that dude. I know that guy's voice. And then I started asking, was that 50 Cent? So if you never heard T.K. Kirkland's voice, he sounds like 50 Cent. Because he talks like 50 Cent. Like, he doesn't open his mouth. It sounds like he doesn't. He does, but it sounds like he doesn't. Let's fast forward, because damn. Just what ends up happening at the end of all of this is his brother, the slumlord being forced to live in the building, isn't happy with the way things are being run, and he decides to have a fence put up around the entire perimeter of the fence, and it's locked at a certain time. If you're in, you don't get out. If you're out, you don't get in. Like, that's just not his problem. The brother gets locked outside because he doesn't tell anybody about the fact that he's putting up this fucking fence. He just puts it up. And so the brother ends up getting locked outside in the cold, and he's trying to roll his wheelchair up this ramp, and what ends up happening is he falls backwards out of the wheelchair, and from the scene it looks like he died. Like, on impact, he died, blood everywhere, from like a 2-foot drop. I didn't question it, but they said most likely he died because of hypothermia, because nobody was out there like to bring him inside because it was really fucking cold. And it's at this point Max loses his fucking mind and just goes apeshit. Like, not like insanely mad, just loses his shit. And it's at this point he basically becomes the Pied Piper, and him and Tara, like, his plan is to get like even with all the people who have like been doing wrong. Like, there's the people who took his brother's watch. There's a dude in the building named Satan who has one eye, and
As they all do.
and and he used to have, I guess like he was in the war at some point, because he has like a fuckload of like ammunition
Oh
stored in the
no!
basement,
Oh no! Oh no!
and
He
he
was
is
in the war. He
he,
had one eye. And you haven't seen what I've seen.
can you shut up? He has a low key death wish. It comes to play later in the movie, because at the end, by the end of the movie, the rats are just taking over. Matt was like, "No, this ain't what was supposed to happen," and he's not. He's like, he's going around exacting his revenge. Like, there's a girl in the building that he has a thing for, and he tries to save her from her shitty boyfriend, but no, that didn't work out because she was determined to stay with the boyfriend, but the boyfriend gets eaten by rats. And like when he's like, I tried to save you, like I did this so we could be together, and she's like, fuck you, and that's it. She ends up getting eaten to death by the rats because he tells her, you better not let Tara hear you say that, because he realizes that he's lost control of the rats. But at the end of it all, like the rats are terrorizing everybody at this point, everyone. So people are running out of the building. The old couple in this movie are like trying to escape. Satan fucking tries to burn the rats, like he like douses a lot of the rats with gas and then gets in his car. And I forget how he exploded. But like he set the car on fire and it exploded, killing, I'm guessing, a lot of rats. And that's like the climax of the movie. Ice-T dies. Almost everybody dies. Like almost everybody dies, except for the old folks, who when they try to tell people what happened, nobody believes them, and they think that like because the entire building is engulfed in flames and it burns down, and they think that the old folks set the building on fire with their space heater. And the movie, it does this thing where it's like, we're going to set up, it's not setting up for a sequel, but it's like left for you to imagine that, yeah, like this could, clearly, continue to happen. There's another lady who's doing a very bad job of acting. And like I think she's either getting fired from her job, or she's walking out distraught from this, she's sitting on a bench at the street. And there's a rat that we're watching, like, put himself in a rat trap. Like he's moving the trap into position, and then like opening the spring a little bit, and then getting it into place so that she can help him. And all I could think was, I'm not fucking touching that. Like, one, there's a rat already in it, and two, this is gross. Why would I touch this? This is disgusting.
Fair enough.
And that's how the movie ends. The thing about this movie is it has some of the best editing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is shit that people have done. Like, imagine somebody got like imagine a 13-year-old got Adobe Premiere for the first time, and they don't know how to do much of anything, and they just know how to do certain visual effects. And so they start putting visual effects in places that they don't need to be, simply because they know how to do it. So there are parts of this movie where, like, the film, like the visuals stretch and warp out of position. Whenever we're seeing things through the perspective of the rats, like there's a weird color filter over everything. It is by far, like, I suggest finding it and watching it, just so that you can understand what in the blue blazing fuck I'm talking about. This movie is a logistical night. It's insanity at its finest.
It's apparently on Hulu.
It's on Hulu?
Apparently.
Double check. I gotta know. Because if it's on Hulu, go watch it. I ain't gonna let the video like wait for him to find out. But like Ice-T was in it. That was the reason I watched it. Again, I thought it was a drama. I thought it might have been like a cop drama or like a drama. But no, a really shitty horror movie about rats that weren't even mutant rats, just regular everyday rats who were able to like communicate well enough to help each other do things that they didn't need to be doing.
So technically it is on Hulu, but only if you have stars.
Okay, so no, it's not on Hulu.
So it's on Stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're going to move on to the last 2 episodes. The next episode, we're going to be talking about another movie. And if you want to know which one it is, it's one you've probably seen, depending on how old you are. So come on and check us out when you can come on. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, come on. Stay black.